Legionnaires of the Lariat, welcome back. We have our fantastic crew back with you this time for, is it a review? Is it predictions? A preview? A weekly recap. We have a packed week for you guys, which is really exciting. This one is, you see me hosting, so it's down to two of those things. We're doing predictions tonight. We're doing a preview for Crown Jewel. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, the one, the only, stevezapf. And we have with us, again, the new mainstay on the show. We have Hound. Hound, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing well. It's good to see you again, Showtime. I'm glad I can commiserate with another Yankee fan while we hope that tonight goes well.
I missed you as well. It will. I think we're going 7 games, but let's just say that that's my wishful thinking right now. Yesterday was abysmal. We have a game. I'm not currently watching the game on this other screen next to me. That's definitely not happening. So
how would I know? How would I know?
No one to know. It's actually giving me some light because I couldn't find my light today because it's somewhere in this house. So welcome, guys. We have a cool one going on. We have in front of us what I think is probably the hardest show to predict with Crown Jewel. Definitely the hardest WWE show to predict and kind of outline out. And I think we might be starting with the hardest one. It's definitely the one with the most options today. Before I get into that, guys, let's talk a little bit about what we're most excited about for this one. Hound, what match, what moment, what is the thing that you're most excited for in Crown Jewel?
So I am a fan of that giant gaudy title that is the most wonderful, awful thing I have ever seen. And I'm actually really looking forward to a Cody Gunther match. I think that's going to be fantastic. I don't know if it'll necessarily be match of the night. I think the bloodline stuff will probably be the high point of the night, but I'm really interested because I don't know how I feel about the Cody Gunther thing. I have what I think should happen. I have what I believe is going to happen. And I have the fact that I think I'm wrong.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. Steven, what's piquing your interest for this one?
Honestly, Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. That match is I think that's going to be something interesting. The women's tag team title match it seems like they're actually trying to do something with with this division now. And I'm okay with that.
I'm not sure if I agree with that statement, but I am excited about that match.
It's just a little something with it, which is a lot more than they've been doing with it.
Well, what they've been doing with it is let's only have one women's match of the night and just try to put every woman in it. And they, you know what, it is different. There's 2 women's matches to this night, but they are just trying to jam all of them in there. Let's get 8 women in one match. I'm going to call out here the Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens match. This one has potential to be kind of match of the night. Maybe not match of the night per se, but the fan favorite match. I'm really curious on which way they take this. I know where I think they're going to go, but this is one of those very many matches where it could be either way because they're setting this person up to face Cody next. So this is kind of one that's really standing out at me. I will say the only one we didn't mention was the LA Knight Andrade Carmelo Hayes match, but I think there's a reason for that. It just seems to be the one that's probably the one that has the least amount of excitement around it. So I'm sure it'll be a solid match, but out of all of these, it's probably the one I'm least excited for. So let's start off with, like I said, it may not be the hardest one to predict. I think it's going to be pretty difficult, but the one that has the most options for predicting. And we're going to go with the women's tag team titles. We have Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill. We have Lash Legend, Shakira Jackson. We have Damage Control. And last and certainly not least, we have Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Saved it for last. Steven, what are you thinking on this one?
Oh, This is actually a really hard one. So I'm going to automatically eliminate Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson out of this. I don't think.
Okay.
I can tell you they are definitely not winning this. I've said this over the last couple of weeks. Lash and Jakara are basically Diet Bianca and Jade.
Mhm.
They literally have almost the same moveset. They have the similar looks. And it's not like you'd be handing it off to the better one, or it's like an old line, young line situation. So I don't see that one playing out. The other two challenging teams, I would honestly not be mad about them winning this. I would not be mad about Io Sky and Kairi Sane winning this, and I definitely wouldn't be mad about Chelsea Green and Piper Niven winning this. I'm not sure if any of that happens though. I think this seems like a perfect opportunity to finally get those belts off of Jade and Bianca again, and do like a bigger try to get the women's division, the women's tag team title division, be bigger than just their stuff. But they're also the biggest stars in the division, so I think it's gonna stay with Bianca and Jade, honestly.
Bianca and Jade, bold move, Cotton. Let's see if that works out for him. Hound, where's your mind out here?
I know what I want to have happen, and that is for Chelsea Green and Piper Niven to become the women's tag team champions. But if a title does change hands, that's not due to a cash-in. This is the only one. Well, actually, it's the only one that could. But I don't see the title changing right now. If it does, it'll be a schmoz. I hope it goes to Chelsea and Piper. But you know what? Just so that way we have some differences going, I am going to just accept that I'm going to be wrong here, but why not take a stab in the dark? I'm going to take Damage Control.
All right, Damage Control. That really came out of nowhere, Hound. You didn't mention them once to that build up, and just I don't think it's. I think it's going to be Bianca and Jade. I want it to be Chelsea and Piper. Damage Control.
Damage Control it is.
Well, far too often it's we're all agreeing or there's just one subtle difference. So why not? We have a chance for this is the only match where we have a chance where each one of us could pick differently and all of us pick wrong. So why not?
I don't think we're gonna all choose. I don't think one of us is gonna I don't think all of us are gonna get away with being wrong here. I think one of us will get it right. But I'll give the people what they want, and I'm going to pick somebody completely different because I think this is the actual perfect time to take these belts off of Bianca and Jade. I don't think it's doing anything for them. I don't know if it ever did anything for them in the beginning, but there was intention of that, and I give you that E for effort when we come down to it. I think the one thing it did do was it gave Jade a lot of really good ring time with Bianca. I don't think they're going to turn on each other quite yet, but I think this might be the beginning of that turn. If I had to kind of call it, I think it's going to be Bianca that goes heel. Because, being a little bit elder statesman, I think that's what people would expect less of to a certain degree. Because Jade, I feel like, has a bit more of a heelish feel and look to her. Where that'll be more natural. So let's kind of subvert some expectations on that front. Steven, I agree with you emphatically. I don't think there's a chance that Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson kind of walk away with these titles. So I'm going to just kind of scoot that one under the rug. They're I also don't think they're going to be the ones that take the pin. Typically in these situations, we're like, oh, they're not going to win. They're going to take the pin. I actually think Damage Control is going to end up taking this pin because, and the reason why I don't have Damage Control is because this is not the Damage Control tag team. I think they're going to wait for that pure tag team to come back, and then you have Io come kind of going back out to the singles world. So I'm gonna give the people what they want, and it's Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. I can't tell you how impressed I am with how Chelsea Green handles herself in every capacity. No one does more with less time than she does. I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to kind of build this out and kind of give Chelsea a little bit of a spot where she's still that swarmy heel, but at the same time starts getting a little bit of legitimacy out there. I actually would love, like, I wish they would have pushed her as a singles person, because after that ladder in the back match, I was convinced that she had done enough to be taken a little bit more seriously, even if Piper was just that muscle that made everything happen. But Chelsea was the one in the spotlight. I feel like they completely missed the boat on that front. And Chelsea, you're a gem. Keep it up. So I'm going to go with the two of you and obviously take the win with this one, because why would they go any other route? Now, there is some opportunities. I think all of us have a really good chance to be correct here. I don't think there's any chance that all of us are wrong. But at this point in time, I think that is the roundabout it. So I'm going to go with Chelsea and Piper.
Is it weird that I kind of hope we're all wrong?
No, I mean, yeah, it is weird because you don't actually want us to be wrong. Like the outcome of that, of Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson
I don't
being
want
the
that.
champions, is not what you want.
No,
I get where you're coming from, but it's in reality, you're a liar. You're lying right now.
True. I don't want them.
All right. So coming up next, Steven, I started with you there, right?
Yes.
Hound, you're up next for in my mind, the least inspiring. I love a good multi-match kind of build in order to be a number one contender. I think they kind of botched that with Andrade and Carmelo Hayes going so many matches, and then LA Knight winning the final match. What a waste. Come on, man. You kind of did a good build for this for kind of no reason. The US title is kind of something that I feel like that they put on LA Knight in order to kind of build him up. So Hound, what are you thinking about this match?
I think this is going to be kind of a sleeper match of the night. Real good chance that when we're talking about it in retrospect, we're like, you know what, that may have been the most enjoyable match of the night. I think LA Knight holding the U.S. title right now is exactly where it needs to be, because it's kind of giving some legitimacy and some star power to it. So I don't see it coming off of him. And I see that as a good way for him to transition into the next challenger or challengers, because I'm pretty sure since WrestleMania, it's just been Andrade and Carmelo Hayes for him. So, LA Knight.
LA Knight. I'm going to have to agree with you. LA Knigget? Is that the Monty Python way of saying it?
Yes, Monty Python.
I'm with you.
Knight who says knee.
Exactly. This is one that I think this was probably the one I think is the easiest match to predict of the night, in my opinion. Not that any of them are easy. I think Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, particularly Carmelo Hayes, could walk out with this one if they want to kind of push him and give him a one real good push now that he's kind of cemented himself out of NXT. But right now, I'm with you, Hound, for this all the same reasons. I think that this belt is exactly where it's supposed to be. This is trying to figure out if LA Knight could be world champion eventually. How does he look with gold? So I agree. I'm going to go with LA Knight here. Steven?
I'm echoing everybody on this one. I think this is LA Knight. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised, because I don't think there's going to be much Jamokin in this match.
Good. I'll take that, because when Hound said that I think we'd all be pleased with this match, I was like, not I, because I'm not a big fan of three-way matches, because I feel like it's just a spot fest of it. It's 1v1, and then it's 1v1, and then it's 1v1. It's with a lot of Jamokin going around the side. So tell me more, Steven.
I think these three aren't going to do much Jamokin, honestly. And I think the Jamokin or in this case, it won't be Jamokin, because it will make sense why someone is taken out of the equation for X amount of time. It's not going to be a simple move that takes him out. It'll be a major move that pushes him through the ropes, and has whoever it is that hits said major move goes to kind of chase after him. The other guy will come around and try to scoop up a pin, or start really getting into it. And we won't see them not in the match for an extreme amount of time. Like, it'll be like, oh, they weren't here for 2 moves because they got hit with a major, like, running big boot or something like that. Like, something that should take them out for a couple seconds. Or, I think when they're doing this, the stuff that takes them out of the equation is going to make sense. And I think the beginning of this is going to be a lot of actual 3-way action.
I agree. There is moments in time where I wouldn't consider laying around Jamokin. Like when you get hit with something devastating on the outside, that kind of takes you out. That's not Jamokin. When you get back body dropped and then you roll out under the bottom rope and you're down for 15 minutes, that's a big old Jamoke.
That's straight Jamokin. That is the definition of Jamokin.
Like, I really just don't understand. Cool. Anything else anyone wants to add to this match? I think we're relatively good. So we'll go next, which I think this is the one I think I'm most excited for, is Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. I've really enjoyed the two of them together over the last year or ish time frame. Definitely in that lead to WrestleMania, them being kind of Cody's boys. I liked RKO. I really wanted to see them kind of get a little title run. And it never really worked out, which, not that they needed it, but I just thought that would be a fun tag team to just kind of throw the spotlight on. And I'm really excited about this match in general. Now, this match, this one is kind of has me head scratching because I could see the two multiverses that are breaking off for this match, right? We've been talking about the only legitimate contender for Cody is Randy Orton. That's what we've been talking about since he won that title. Just get him in there with Randy Orton, have Randy Orton go heel, blah, 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 blah. And so that's one path I could see us going this way. Or we're kind of rehashing the AJ Styles storyline with Kevin Owens, where he goes, where he does an honorable fight, and then he does his heel fight. And the only difference here is that they are giving Kevin Owens a little bit more time to kind of show that savage look. I love a good heel who doesn't know that they're the one that's wrong, which he might not even be wrong. On this show, countless times, I defend the people who they think is a heel, who's just telling you honest things, and everyone's like, I don't like the way you said that. Boo earns. And so for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Kevin Owens on this one. I could be wrong because I could very much see the Randy Orton, like him go heel in this match and like out heel Kevin Owens. But I'm going to go Kevin Owens on this one because I would really like to see him be a bit more vicious and go after Cody again and get the match that I kind of wanted in the first place. Steven, right? Yeah, Steven.
So I agree. I think it's going to be Owens. I really like the stuff that Owens is doing. Me and you have talked a couple times that this is a different. I understand what you're saying, that they're rehashing the AJ Styles thing with this, but they're
doing it better.
They're doing it better. It's definitely a different take on it, and I like the idea. Like I said, I don't know if Kevin Owens is necessarily really the heel. This feels like we could find out at the end of all this. Like, this might be way down the line, but like in long-term storytelling, like, Kevin's right. Like,
he is right.
But I mean, we could find, like, it could be one of those things where like the eventual Cody possible heel turn where it's like, I told you this a year ago. I told you this was happening.
Cody doesn't need to go heel to be proven dumb. And that's essentially what Kevin's saying. Like, what are you thinking right now? Roman is a bad man. He takes 3 months off, and all of a sudden, oh, he's a face. We're cool. He would never do anything terrible.
He would
like that.
Never double cross anybody.
Never.
He didn't double cross. He didn't cheat for the last 4 years.
Nah, we cool. We're straight. He lost the belt. He was honorable as he hid after his loss.
I do like the kind of the underlying storyline that they have going with this, though, and how Triple H presented it on SmackDown this past week was, listen, Kevin Owens doesn't like anybody. Everything was a business transaction. And then he met you and Cody. And I don't know if it was because Cody was the altruistic guy that he wishes he could be, or because you are the jerk that he hopes he's not. I like that. That, like, at the end of the day, a lot of this is that Owens is actually heartbroken about this. And I think that makes him a dangerous man. And I think Randy might get possibly put on the shelf a little bit on this one. Not like real put on the shelf, but I could see him getting. I could see this as one of those situations where Owens finishes this and, like, Orton isn't there for a couple weeks just because he really, really laid into him on something.
I can see
a work, not a shoot in this case.
Sure. Hound, where's your head at in all of this?
They would have completely wasted the build if Owens doesn't win.
Right?
You can never truly count Randy Orton out of a match. Like, if we're supposed to suspend disbelief and talk about skill set versus skill set, Randy Orton literally is 1 second away from slapping on the 3 most dangerous letters. But the build they just did for Owens, and this is a good payoff after everything Owens has gone through bloodline wise. To have this come out, this is good character stuff for him. I like it, and I like what you're saying there. Yeah, I think ultimately in the end, Owens will be proven right, and it'll be one of those, like, I tried telling you, back to the whole, like, Ezekiel and whatever Ezekiel's brother was being called, who was also Ezekiel, where Owens was ultimately proved right that it was one person. But no, it's going to be Kevin Owens. If not, then what was the point of everything you just did?
I also, and Steve alluded to this earlier, I love the way they're building this. A lot of the backstage stuff where you let the fans do it. Kevin Owens going onto social media and using social media the proper way to build this kind of feud. I like how he's like, I sent in a video, but WWE is censoring me. Like, not only is Cody wrong, but it's almost like a conspiracy to keep Kevin Owens quiet, to not point the finger at Cody on this. Like I think that Kevin Owens might be sitting in his hotel room with a tinfoil hat on right now, because, like, everyone's against him. And, like, how did I become the bad guy in all of this? Just because I couldn't keep my temper under control when everyone was clearly wrong.
He's got an armadillo hat. Thank you.
Hey, lined with tinfoil. It's
okay.
It's the only way to do it.
Compromise.
So that's what I'm with you. I'm disappointed that we're all going with Kevin Owens here, but I'm with us. I think that's the right choice on where we're going. Though, again, I could be very happy with Randy Orton turning heel here and then going after Cody, because he won't stand for Kevin attacking him. Like, there's consequences to your actions, Kevin, even if you're right. And the Viper can take you down a peg, as Hound, as he said. Then next up is Seth freaking Rollins versus Big Bronson Reed in this weird little blood feud that we have going on. Steven, I believe it's your turn.
Is it me? It might be me. Ooh. So, Hound and I talked a little bit about this before.
Cheaters. You're conspiring against me.
Yes, that's exactly what it
was.
I would
never do that.
How dare you? Yeah, I know you conspire with me against him.
So I think Seth Rollins wins the match, but I don't think he wins the fight. If that makes sense. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to get a pin, but I don't think he walks out of this match on his own accord.
Hound? Counterpoint?
No, he stole my point. He stole that from me in an egregious fashion and then got to say it first. So that way, if ultimately I'm proven right, because he didn't have an original thought, this was mine, ultimately he looks like he's smart and I'm the copycat. But yeah, I don't see, Bronson Reed doesn't need to win. And because his character's not heading towards a world title, not heading towards anything like that. Seth Rollins, ultimately, we're going to start heading and pushing in the direction of CM Punk, potentially world title bound. We're going to see where all that shakes out. But at the same point, if you have Bronson Reed go out on his back and, he loses and it rolls out of the ring, and then the last shot is just Seth Rollins doing Seth Rollins things in the ring after he wins, I think you've wasted this whole thing. So, yeah, Seth Rollins should win, and then Bronson Reed should hit him with 900 tsunamis. And then, we can go back to Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman doing big meaty men slapping meat, because those matches are wonderful.
I have one thing to say to the two of you. Boo. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I hate it. The build for Bronson Reed has been so meticulous that I feel like no matter what, if Seth Rollins wins this match, it ruins it. Seth Rollins does not need to beat Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed needs to beat Seth Rollins. Now, Hound, you're right, which is probably the reason why I might go with Seth Rollins here. I'm still not. I was a little unprepared for this, for those listening, because I've been very busy, and so I'm looking at these matches for the first time and fix them on the fly. But the whole, Seth doesn't need this win, and so Hound, what you said was Bronson Reed's not going to go after a world title. You're right. I think there's kind of too long of a line for him to go in there. I could see him go up against Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title again, and have a closer pitch. But if Bronson Reed loses to Seth Rollins here, it's going to be the same thing he just did with Sammy and with Chad Gable. And that's just how he's going to be used forevermore. He's never going to be taken seriously. Sure, he can do some damage. He's a big dude, but it really sours me on him. And I really want to pick Bronson Reed here because I think it's the right booking decision. And if Bronson Reed, I'll see if I can get partial credit for this. Honestly, I think if Bronson Reed wins this match, I think we have a little CM Punk interference. Because I think that we are going to build to a Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. And CM Punk's really good at coming out of nowhere. Everything I've heard about that is there's no way that CM Punk's going to be there because we're in Saudi Arabia, and there's no way he's going to do this. But I know for a fact that in wrestling, when there is no chance something's going to happen, it always happens. So I'm going to go with Seth Rollins, but I hope I have a little bit of partial credit for calling that CM Punk will be here. And cost him the match, and that's how Bronson Reed wins it. And I think that makes everybody happy in the long run. But I'll go that route.
He only booed us because he wanted us to take Bronson Reed, and he could be the only one who was right.
No. I almost went with Bronson Reed. This was a spot to I don't want the tag team. Yeah, I really did. You talked me out of it, Hound, to be honest with you. Because the minute you said that he's not going after a world title anytime soon, I'm like, yeah. And I just don't like that booking decision. I think it wastes a lot of the time that we put into this. And I don't want the winner of this to be decided by the women's tag team titles with an 8-person tag match.
I truly believe. Oh,
go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I truly believe that at the end of this, the drone army that they use on these Saudi shows is going to lift Bronson Reed into the air and drop him down for a tsunami.
Yes.
So, in a weird way, I almost wish that it's going to sound odd to say this way. I almost wish the Saudi shows weren't canon, if you will, and they were kind of their own self-contained bubble where it could be that, because I don't think the Saudi show outcome should have an effect going forward. But, now you have a 97-pound title belt that somebody's going to have to drag to the ring for at least 2 weeks after. So it definitely exists.
Just mad because you can't buy that title.
I am a little bit perturbed about that.
You can't buy it? I didn't realize that.
I haven't seen it yet. Might not be available till after there, or maybe you're just not allowed.
I think what you need to do is you have to fly to Saudi Arabia to go to Crown Jewel, and that's the only place you can buy it. And I have 3 words for you, Hound. You won't do it forwards.
And I have a response. Correct.
Damn. I was this close. I almost had him.
I was almost bamboozled into spending
Almost
a lot
in
of money.
On top of a lot of money.
On top of a lot of money. So our next match is a precursor to another match that will be coming down the line soon. Is the original Bloodline versus Bloodline 2.0. We have Roman Reigns and the Usos versus, I don't think it's been announced yet, but 3 of the new Bloodline members, but members to be decided probably tomorrow or whatever, Friday, 2 days from now, whatever. I don't know what day it is. Whatever one that is. So we have these guys going head to head. Who am I at? I'm at Hound, right? So we have, all of the family getting together in one big brawl. Hound, what's your thoughts here?
All right, so I mean, I'll bet you $1 it's Tonga Loa who's not involved in the match.
I'll take that dollar bet because I think it's Solo that's not in the match.
I don't think you can have it not be. I don't think Solo can not be a part of it right now. There's too much with him and Roman and everything else. I think it's going to be Tonga Loa, Jacob, and Solo. And I think the Bloodline 2.0 has to win. I say that though, and we're heading towards Survivor Series, and I've been thinking that they need to win there too. But I did say it first, so I'm going to stick with, I think Bloodline 2.0 Solo Squad is going to win. The only way I see it where they don't is if whoever the next part of Roman's bloodline is comes down to help, and whether that's Sami Zayn or the rumored Lance Anawahi debuting or Hikuleo, we'll have to wait and see. With it being in Saudi, it would make sense for Sami, being that he is a person of Muslim faith. I believe he's Syrian, and it's a big deal for him to be allowed in Saudi Arabia now. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. But I do think Bloodline 2.0 does have to take it.
I think he's super over there as well. So
yes,
that helps in all of that. I think you always need a spot. This was Hound, so I can go next in this. But I have a question for you guys before I do my my little predictions here. Does The Rock show up?
I don't think he has time.
I don't think he does. Not for this. I think when he makes his next appearance, it'll be a Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. Is he part of this match at Survivor Series?
Maybe. I'm still trying to figure out everything with The Rock. I think we're getting in real deep into this long-term storytelling stuff. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what he handed to Cody.
Never to be. Yeah, he needed a breath mint. Hound, I'm with you. Maybe not for the same reasons, but I'm convinced that the original Bloodline wins next. I think that there is going to be some shenanigans in this. You have to make sure, as the Usos said, you only can trust family, except for their fight. But there's a kind of a newsflash. Fun fact: one of these guys is his brother. So that they're fighting against. So I don't know what they're trying to do. Like that, they made that comment around Sami talking to Solo. That you can only trust family, but then Solo is their little brother. So I'm with you on this front. I think Sammy's going to play some role here. I find it hard to believe that he is in Solo's corner and going to be heel in Saudi Arabia. That one kind of paints me a little funny of the booking.
That's not UC.
Yeah, that's not very UC at all. And so, but I'm convinced. We talk about like the real heels and everything like that, and I honestly think that Sami is actually the real heel in a lot of these stories, because he gets into people's business, breaks up families constantly. He did it to Alpha Academy. He did it to the Bloodline. without him in those factions, they don't fall apart the way they do. He's a catalyst for this
He
with
really is.
a nice big bushy beard, and he seems super nice and to this thing, but he's quite conniving when he gets in there, gets his whip going, and turns everybody against each other. It's happened twice. It's gone down to it's not like it was just once, and I'm grasping for straws here, but it's literally happened 2 times in the last year. So just call me crazy, but Sammy seems to be the heel on this story, and Roman. He's a bad man.
I look forward to these specifically for the yarns that you spin, because I can't like I want to be like, duh, you're wrong, but it's really hard to be like, you're completely wrong, because you're like, crap, that bucket carries some water.
It's totally what happens.
There's no holes in that bucket. And in all honesty, I fully understand what's going on with Solo too, because the entire time Solo was out there, Roman said he's the hand-picked guy to replace him. Roman disappears. Of course Solo's the tribal chief. Why wouldn't he be the one in charge right now? Come on, guys. Long-term storytelling. I'm following. I'm reading the book. I'm taking notes.
Oh man, little notes in the margins, highlighted.
There's those like sticker bookmark sticker things that look like highlighters. They're all over the text. Steven, what do you think? Tell me how right I am.
First, I want to agree with you about the Sammy thing, because literally this past Monday on Raw, when he's sitting there telling Jay that this is none of his business, I'm like, this is literally the first time in history Sammy's telling someone else to stay out of other people's business.
But then where is Sammy? Then where is Sammy the next time you see him?
Getting into someone else's business.
Just dance for me, puppets, dance. Sammy, you're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, and all this time we kept calling Kevin Owens the real heel out of the tag team.
That's what I'm saying. Kevin's the one that's right. Don't even let me get started about Dominic Mysterio. You guys can't handle it right now.
Jesus Christ. It's really bad that I'm starting to agree with you.
Don't you get me started.
All right. So anyway, Bloodline 2.0, Bloodpoint 2 line.
Nailed it.
Those guys, they are going to win this. They have to win this. They haven't really been winning. They lost the tag team titles. They lost to Roman and Cody. They need to win this.
Yes, agree. Solo lost to Cody.
Otherwise, what are we doing with them? If they lose this, why are we taking this into Survivor Series?
Agreed. Yeah, it really is no need to kind of elongate this. It's like, oh, you guys are the B Squad. It's the NWO and the NWO 2000 or whatever.
Yeah, the silver and black NWO.
Yeah,
not the red and black or the black and white. That's where we're at.
Not the good ones.
No.
You're led by Stevie Ray right now, guys. Come on, let's get it.
Let's keep it going. Yeah, at this point, if you guys lose, you are just agreeing the fact that you're not the ones.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I hope this is good. I hope this is a good match. There's a lot of people in this. I think you're going to have a decent amount of Jamokin in this match, which I'm not super excited about. I think you'll also see if they could just pair up and really have like a good chain of people fighting people. Roman can really put this group over. I'm not saying he's the one that's going to take the pin or anything like that, because that's the reason why you bring Jimmy back. But I could really see Roman giving like Solo a moment to shine, or Jacob Fatu a moment to shine. I think he's the one that really is someone who can come like stand above everyone else here, because the Usos are always there to kind of put other people over in certain situations, and Roman, we'll see where he comes out of all of this. The next match is for the women's Crown Jewel. And I wanted to say that we all had a very unique spin on this, but I think everyone's thinking the same thing. So I'll start off with this one. This one, I have a hard time figuring this one out. without any major twists. I think Nia Jax probably goes over Liv Morgan in this one. I think you're going to see Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio make a little bit of an appearance. I think you have a chance for Nia to kind of feel like the face in this somehow, which I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how that one all works. But actually, I think that the one person that ends up coming out here and shining as the face of this match is going to be Tiffany. I think this is the perfect time for Tiffany to cash in. This belt is tailor-made for her, even though it's about the same size as her. I know Liv can't win this belt because I'm not sure she can lift it because it's so much bigger than she is. And at the end of the day, I think this could be a cool cash-in. I was talking to you, Steven, earlier. What I really want to see happen is that Tiffany comes out, pins both of them, gets both women's titles in the Crown Jewel at once, because that would be an epic way to start the era of Tiffany. It's the perfect way to start Tiffy time.
Tiffy time. It would totally be Tiffy time at that point.
It'd totally be Tiffy time at that point. Steven, how crazy am I?
I don't think she's going to pin both of them.
I don't think so either, but it'd be cool if she did. Just
I do think that she's going to cash in, and that's going to be the loophole to how one of these two is going to lose. I don't think she goes after Liv. I think she's going to cash in on Nia. It's going to somehow get turned into a three-way match. And I think Tiffany walks out with whichever person who she pins title and the Crown Jewel title.
Very interesting.
I'm definitely sticking with Tiffany. I think it's gonna. I don't think this match goes to the end and then Tiffany cashes in. I think she's going to walk out with all of those diamonds.
So this is a tough one to do. We've done this in the past, Steven. So let's do this way, because Hound. I'll bring this rule in after we hear what Hound has to say.
So I like what you guys are saying, but I have to take a fork and poke a hole in your inflatable raft right now. The Crown Jewel title is decided by the winner between the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title. Tiffany holds neither. She cannot win the Crown Jewel title, even with a cash-in, because that's not what that's for. So what I believe will happen is Liv Morgan is going to win and Tiffany cashes in on Nia.
So okay, that pops a hole in my way I wanted to do this, because I thought you were going to say Tiffany was going to win this. So Hound is the only one that has a definitive winner as of right now. So I'm going to put him in this little doc that we do this with Liv winning this. So Steven, what I was going to suggest is that we pick two people that are in this, one of the two people that are in this match, and then we could say it's Tiffany on top of it. So Steven, with Hound with a definitive Liv Morgan winning this match, because that would be winning this match, and this would be an additional match added to the card. Match. Where is your head at here? What happens? Does Tiffany win this match? You said she cashes in before the match is over.
I think she still does it, man. I feel like this is going to be one of those. I'm not disagreeing with Hound's logic on this. The problem is it's wrestling, and logic doesn't always come into play. So I agree with your logic, and I agree that those rules should be enforced. The problem is I don't think they're going to enforce those rules, and I think at the end of this, they're just going to be like, well, she cashed in. Of course she was able to do this. It says it in the contract that she was able to do this.
I still want to go back to I think she pins both of them, because she has done that, the best moonsault ever, the prettiest moonsault ever, to multiple people at once. And I can see her hitting both of them at once with that moonsault. But, just to keep things fun, I'm going to go with Nia winning this match. And then Tiffy cashing in on Liv. Not that has to do with any of the predictions. The match itself that's here is Nia winning. The same way with Hound saying that. Hound, did you say that she was going to cash in afterwards, after the match?
After,
yeah.
And
So-
if I can even tell you, I think it's going to be because of Dominic Mysterio. It'll be Dominic taking like an annihilator from Nia that will somehow get the Liv victory. And there'll be something to do with that. Or now we got Raquel Rodriguez or Gonzalez, whatever her name is, and she's big enough to kind of flatten Nia with something.
So I'm going to go Nia wins this one because, which I do agree with you, Steven, that it kind of hurts Liv in general because then she's just running from Rhea. She loses this. But then if Tiffany cashes in on Liv, it takes the title over her. It kicks her over to Raw. And I'm curious if they then kick Liv over to SmackDown and then she's separated from her Dom. Which could be fun storyline and her just trying to connive her way back to that show. But we'll do a 3 different picks again, which I kind of dig that build.
Or does Dom cost Liv the title because he goes even more heel
And teams up with Tiffy?
and teams up with Tiffy?
No, I do think
he's just going from blonde to blonde at this point.
I think that Tiffany is on her way for a face turn and can't have that with Dominic. Like even though I don't think he's all in the wrong with some of the things he said in the past. Just saying. I'm not going to get into specifics now, but I will unpack that later. I mean, let's call it how it is. Ray probably wasn't the best father.
He's not
This is somebody
the
else.
best team leader.
No, he's terrible there. And, Rhea did kind of just keep Dom under her thumb the entire time they were together. I don't know. I won't go there. I don't want to open that can of worms. So then going into the main event. So just to recap that last one real fast. Steven, Tiffany is going to win this
Tiffany's
before the match is over.
Before the match is over.
Hound, Liv is going to win this. And then Tiffany's going to cash in on Nia, even though that second half of it isn't counted in the scores. I'm going to go with Nia's going to win this with Tiffany cashing in on Liv. It's literally as opposite as we possibly can get. Though I still want to get credit for if she pins both of them because I want to see her moonsault both of them and be like, I got all 3 belts. I'm just dripping in it. That look of the crown jewel around her waist, both belts in hand, I think that could subvert the rules, being like, not only did I win both belts, but I got this one too. I don't know. I'm just saying. Only a champion can hold the crown jewel, and I got all of them.
It can't be around her waist. It would be from her knees to her shoulders.
She's
And then we have the main event, the piece to de resistance. We have the men's crown jewel of the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and the ring general, Gunther. Steven, you're up, sir.
Yeah. Gunther's winning this. And he's going to look really good with that belt. I do agree with you, Hound, on that one. But Gunther's winning this. He's winning this because Kevin Owens is going to interfere. It's the only way that either one of them don't look weak afterwards. And it still keeps Cody looking like a babyface so he can keep shaking hands and kissing babies. When really he's probably shaking babies and kissing hands.
Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Because he is not a good guy. He's a politician.
He's got a skull mask. No
And
good
a
guy's ever worn a skull
tattoo
mask.
on his neck.
Just a Hound? What do you think? Stephen Wright? Is he wrong?
So there's some logic at play here, and this is why I said where I know what I would like to have happen, what I think will happen, and I ultimately think I may be wrong in the end. So Gunther is the world heavyweight champion. Cody Rhodes is the undisputed WWE champion. If you're going to put a Crown Jewel title. Because this cements one champion being superior to the other. This does make a silver and a gold here. Especially on the men's side, I don't see how the first time we've put a gold medal on something, it didn't go with the title that doesn't have the company's call letters in it. So that's the logical part of my brain. That being said, as much as I want to pick Cody because of that, this Kevin Owens thing is out there. And we've just spent so much time. And I was talking to Steve about this, so let's look at it this way. Since Cody's returned, three people have pinned him. He was pinned by Roman Reigns. He was pinned by Drew McIntyre after interference. And he was pinned by Solo Sikoa. That's the only three who pinned him, and Cody was pinned by Solo in a tag match, maybe a 6-man tag. I can't remember if it was, but it was in a tag match. Cody took the fall. Gunther, since coming up to the main roster, has only been pinned by one person and lost via countout to another, and that's Chad Gable via countout and Sami Zayn via pinfall. Now, this is me looking at this mathematically, logically. Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, while two of the most incredible wrestlers on the planet, are not Roman Reigns and Gunther and even Solo the way they're building him. For all that, I want to say Cody is going to win because logic dictates he should, but he's not going to. And I'm going to go with Gunther, and I think I'm going to be wrong.
So, Hound, real quick, I want to throw this one at you, though, too. Because we've pretty much said the entire time since this title has been created that the World Heavyweight Championship has been the B title. Let's face it, it's the B title.
Yeah.
You had two world champions. Roman held both of them. And you created this other title because you couldn't figure out a way to get one of those other titles off of Roman. I am going to say this. Having Gunther win this title, or win this Crown Jewel match, may finally cement this title on, maybe it's not on fully even footing with the WWE Championship, but it gets it a lot closer, I think.
I see where you're going with that, but ultimately, at any way you slice it, and this is just even if Cody loses via shenanigans, which is kind of Gunther's MO, you still put the gold medal on the World Heavyweight Championship. And with it being the inaugural one, because this is going to happen every year at Crown Jewel, the Crown Jewel title will never be defended. It will just simply change hands to the winner of whoever this match is each year. I just, logically, I'm like, well, why wouldn't I want WWE, the belt with that attached to it, to have that as this is still the gold standard. And if you look at everything that has happened leading to the point where we've gotten to now, that belt that Cody holds is created by the most dominant championship run of our generations and the only person to take it from him. So there's a lot there, and that's where the logic part comes in. But I do ultimately think they're going to further the Kevin Owens storyline. That's where I'm getting at with that. But I'm taking Gunther, but if they look at it the way I am, I could see that my pick is wrong.
I think you guys are missing something. There's a piece in your puzzle that just is kind of throwing some of this off. I think I'm going to go with Cody here because of one major reason. Bill Goldberg can't miss a payday. And I think that the reason why Braun Breaker was dropped the belt to Jey Uso, became face, and then quick, let's put it back on him and make him heel again. Because I think they were going to build Braun Breaker versus Gunther. But then Bill Goldberg entered the picture. And I think they're going to build Gunther versus Bill Goldberg. And I think Goldberg's going to come in here and cost him the match.
Really?
And there might be shenanigans from Kevin Owens. I hate the fact that none of us can come up with an idea where Cody or Gunther go over without shenanigans, because that makes this crown jewel absolutely worthless. The most expensive, worthless thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It makes
Hound
no
still
sense.
wants it.
Sure, that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you don't get a real winner in either of these two matches, particularly because I don't know if they will get like a real winner without some kind of interference to make everyone stay strong, what are we doing here? What was the point of all of this? I want one master of the universe. And I think that that's what we should get here. But we're not going to, which is annoying.
So I'm going to give you the simple answer as to what we're doing here. We're spending Saudi oil money.
I get it.
This belt was created because not only could the Prince want their own WrestleMania, they also wanted their own title belt. And thus this was created. Also, I do want Hound to eventually get a replica of this belt because it would look like a normal belt on him.
Just like one of those like Texas belt buckles.
It would look just like that. It's like if you ever watch him drinking a 2-liter of soda, it just looks like a normal soda bottle in his hand.
Those minis.
This is a 1.5 liter Deer Park, so.
Yeah.
I would have said that was just a normal bottle.
Yeah, that looks like a 20-ounce bottle.
the 12 ounces. I feel like they have to do. I don't know. I don't think they're going to put Gunther over on Cody. I think that I like the Bill Goldberg. Not that I like Bill Goldberg's getting his nose in here, but I could definitely see them doing that, bringing him to Saudi Arabia after all of the shade he threw at him. I think they're building to this. It's the only thing that makes the whole Braun Breaker flip flop make sense. So that's the way I kind of see this all hashing out. Everybody, you tell us why we're wrong and why we're right. This one was very different. Quick recap for the women's tag team title match. Steven, you got Bianca and Jade. I have Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. And Hound, you took Damage Control. Completely different picks from all three of us. We all took LA Knight. We all have Kevin Owens. We all have Seth Rollins, though I kind of think Bronson Reed might win that one. We all took the Bloodline 2.0. We all have different. The only differences we have is for the most part, is the women's matches. We have Steven, you have Tiffany cashing in before the match is over and winning that match. It's the only way you can win. Hound, you have Liv going over in the match with Tiffany cashing in. If Tiffany does cash in, doesn't cash in, no harm, no foul on your part because Liv won the match. Same thing with me where I have Nia winning the match, but I have Tiffany going over on both of them. Yes, that's where I want to go with that because it doesn't matter, and I like that idea better. Though I think she cashes in on Liv if it's only one of them. And then for the main event, we have the two of you with Gunther winning with Kevin Owens interference, and I have Cody winning with a little bit of Bill Goldberg and probably Kevin Owens in there too. It's kind of one of those things where Kevin Owens comes down and you think Gunther's going to win, and then spear, jackhammer, everyone goes nuts, puts Cody on top of Gunther, and then they win. Like you could see that happening, right? Like if you just close your eyes, you could see that being the end of this. Everyone, we love your support. We would love to know your opinions. Tell us where we're right. Tell us where we're wrong. What are your picks? Put them all in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, do the things that really help us out. We really appreciate you all. Thumbs up. I'm trying to give as many thumbs ups as possible. Thank you all for your support. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you all soon. And Steven?
As always, tuck your chin when you bump.